Good morning, everyone. I've just arrived at the gym. As you've seen in yesterday's vlog, I have been invited to kind of do a workshop about editing in this fashion brand company, and I'm really looking forward. And because I've arrived at the gym a little bit early, I kind of wanted to share a couple of the topics that I've been brainstorming just about now, what I will talk about in that workshop. And I just wanted to share this in this small little vlog, because I will share all of these topics in these vlogs in the future as well. So yeah, let me just go over what I've been thinking about. And again, will be something not only that I will teach in that workshop, but also that I will share in these vlogs. So don't forget to push the like button if you enjoyed these videos, and more importantly, don't forget to subscribe, because I will share all of these filmmaking topics about editing in these on this why is my brain not functioning on this channel and in these daily vlogs. So again, this is just quick brainstorming that I've done, and I want to kind of have this vlog all about the best edit is the one that you don't notice. So that will be the title of my workshop. And a couple of the topics will be the 100-degree rule, and not the 100-degree shutter rule that most people who are on YouTube know about, where you kind of have to adjust your shutter angle or your shutter speed to or according to the frame rate that you are shooting. But this is the 180-degree camera axis rule when you are editing dialogue and when you are shooting dialogue. It is a very important rule that helps to not disorientate the viewer when you're editing a dialogue. And again, I will kind of explain that in the future vlog. Then continuing with kind of disorientating the viewer, it is so important to lead the viewer's eyes when editing. This could be, for example, you're seeing me right now, and if I would edit from this middle shot to a close-up, to an extreme close-up, you kind of want to lead the viewer's eyes, meaning you're right now looking at me, right? You look into my eyes. If I would edit, for example, I'm not going to edit this, but I want to illustrate this a little bit or explain it in words. If you're looking here in the framing, you look into my eyes, and I would edit closer and kind of reframe the close-up that my eyes would be down here. Your eyes would go all of the time moving from here to here if I cut. So what I want to do is, when I cut to the close-up, I want to keep my face that you are viewing somewhat where the eye of the viewer is already at. Again, like I mentioned yesterday, if you understand the rule, you are allowed to kind of change the rule. But for a good edit, you want to kind of help to lead the eye. Also, for example, if you know that your viewer's eye is somewhere here, then you don't want to kind of put very important text at the same time on this side. If you are doing a commercial, you kind of want to help guide the eye from here to here. So, or kind of account for that. So for example, if you have your person speaking on this side of the frame and you have some important text here, you kind of need to account for the length of the text to be readable, that the viewer needs to go from this side to this side. It could be just some few frames, but you kind of need to remind yourself you need some time to go from here to here. So that is something of a topic that is very important in editing, leading the eyes of the viewer when editing. Then editing in general, editing from wide to a close-up or to mid-shot, there needs to be enough changes in the framing so that the viewer doesn't perceive that edit as hidden, or in air quotes, or smooth edit. If it's too close, if those framings are too close to each other, it can be perceived as a jump cut, and that could be jarring if not used properly. So that is something I want to talk about. Then J cut and L cut, meaning, for example, when you edit from one speaking in a dialogue, for example, you see one person talking and then you cut to the next person talking. If you, for example, stay on one side of the person, that person finished talking and you hear already the other person talking there before cutting visually to the next frame where you see the other person talking. That, for example, is a J-cut, or the other way around. So that is something I will talk about continuing with sound. Utilizing sound effects and properly editing the sound is so important for the edit and gives much more impact, and also knowing where to put those sound effects to create a little bit more impact. For example, if you want a hit, you kind of want to slide the sound effect a little bit earlier for more like impact, and to make it a little bit more hard hitting in a way. Those are the topics that I currently have been thinking about to cover in that workshop, but this is just my first brainstorm. There will be a lot of more topics that I want to cover. If you want to know something about editing, specifically from a creative standpoint, not necessarily from a how to utilize the editing software, let me know in the comment section below, because that could help me to maybe also integrate into that workshop. So yeah, if you want to know more about how to create your first vlog, check out the video up here. YouTube thinks you like the video down here. And don't forget to subscribe and maybe help me to get to 1,000 subscribers and also learn about all of these topics that I will teach in that workshop by clicking the button up here. I see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.